spending your time here, your afternoon here with us in Des Moines, Iowa. I love coming here. This is one of my favorite stops on our tour all year long. So, you guys ready to have some fun? We do have a microphone right here for our Q&A. Please do not make us regret that. Put it on live mic. Whew. Anyway, you guys don't know the things I've seen. Anyway, that being said, I do have a couple rules. No requests, like can you say this line as this particular character? Can you sing happy birthday to my grandma? Sorry, grandma. Rule number 2, there's a lot of you in here. I know a lot of you may have questions. We want to get through as many questions as we can. So please keep your 2, 3, 4, 8-part questions to a minimum. Find your one best question and ask that, so that way we get through as many as possible. And rule number 3 is to have fun. You guys ready to practice rule number 3? Without further ado, please help me welcome the cast of Death Note, Brian Drummond, Brad Swale, and Shannon Champ Kent.
Happy birthday, Grandma. Are we on?
We are.
Okay, yeah.
Hi, guys.
Check. Yes. So, who you probably want to know that. I'll let you jump in.
So Brian, as I want a question about Ryan, right? So, going to conventions, there's a lot of cosplay, but Ryan is one that's a little bit more difficult. Do you feel like he doesn't get enough representation because he looks the way he does?
I'm one death god that seriously gets ripped off.
Right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. When I see them, I get pretty excited. I'm like, you guys can come over and say hi, and I take pictures with them myself, just so I can have them for my own collection, because it's an effort. There's effort involved when you've got to pull off
100%
cosplay. But some people do some sort of crossover versions or sort of hint and reel that are also very cool, that aren't the full cosplay.
Right.
And they're great. But get the word out. More Ryu cosplays. You'll get all the attention at the con, guaranteed.
I saw the coolest Rem this weekend. I didn't see a lot of the Rem cosplays. You were amazing.
You went yesterday? Oh, it was great. I was shopping around, just taking a look at things, and I saw her. And
yeah, you looked amazing.
Yeah, it looked great.
And Brad, as Light, one, you have one of the easiest names in all of anime, so I appreciate that as somebody who has to say names a lot. I have a question for all of you, but for you, what has this been like? By the way, no spoilers if anybody isn't caught up, but what has it been like for you from beginning to end of Light's arc?
We're talking within the story?
Yes, within the story.
Yeah, what was it like? No spoilers? Come on, it's been you're right, 2 years, right? Yeah, it was cool. And I've said before that, the audition even experience for Death Note was one of the coolest ones that I had, because the show had just been released in Japan, so my page of dialogue had excerpts from episode 1 all the way up to 37. So in one page, I could see this crazy roller coaster ride that this character was going to go through. And as a performer, it's kind of a dream gig. So, line 1, mild-mannered Japanese student. Last line, maniacal psycho laughter. Oh, that's a role for me. And then I got cast. I'm like, oh, maybe there's a problem with me. And then I worked on Death Note, and suddenly I was getting more roles as more maniacal characters. They're like, oh, it is me. I'm not a good actor. I have serious emotional problems.
And then, Shannon, as Misa, your niece's relationship with Light is
complicated.
A little bit complicated. A complicated status. How did were you able to accomplish that within the booth without did it affect you personally?
Was I able
Do you speak English?
Did the relationship affect you
personally?
personally as you were
when you're in there, you become the character. So there definitely, I felt like I was Misa, and I was in love with life. And then there are also moments where as Shannon, I was reading it while acting in it, being like, what are you saying, Misa? No, 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 no. So it was, you know, it was...
There was also a little bit of Shannon growing
There was
back.
a-
Yeah, that's me. A little diva. A little
Little
bit.
diva, little diva. No, I'm not a diva. Brian just likes to
Just in a little.
I mean, it didn't totally affect me personally, but when you're in there, you become the role, and you know.
I was probably more emotionally damaged by that relationship because I
Probably.
walk out of there going, oh dear life, what have you done?
Yeah.
You behave like that,
Yeah.
that's not cool.
And I would just shake it off. Shake it off.
She's tough, I'm weak.
Hey, Brad, you kind of touched upon it, like,
Weakness, yes, carry on.
of note of the, looking at knowing the story and seeing the beginning and the end. So what were your first reactions to seeing that script, hearing the concept of the story?
Oh, I dug it. And once, like, a luxury that we have working on anime series versus working on, like, prelay North American cartoons is we have these incredible visuals. So when you go into studio, the downside is they only bring in one actor at a time, so we don't actually get to work with each other on an anime series, a dub series, like we do on prelay shows. But you also, the flip side of that is you have this monitor in front of you that's showing you all of this incredible animation, really obviously, emotive and beautiful type stuff, particularly for a show like Death Note. So it makes it really easy to kind of get into that world. And you get really kind of geeked out about the Shinigami realm and things like that, because you have these great visual cues to kind of play off of. And you have a great story and great characters and amazing actors to kind of play off of. It's a pretty wonderful experience. And then we get to still celebrate and discuss the show today like it came out yesterday, and it did not. So thank you guys for discovering it or letting it find you and coming here to kind of chat with us about it. It means we get to kind of keep reliving this experience over and over again, which is a pretty wonderful thing. Very rare.
Brian, what about yourself? What were your first thoughts upon reading the script?
Always the first thoughts are, another potential gig when you get an audition. But some folks who had come by my table today, I might have told this to already, I was never asked, and they've written many times, never asked to audition for Ryuk. Your agent sends you sides that the producer wanted you to read for, and they decided they wanted me to read for Light's father. And I think there was a couple of detectives. I don't even know if maybe it had Maxilla or somebody. I'm not sure. I can't remember who the other detectives were, but I specifically remember Light's father. So I just saw the sides. I'm like, oh, this is an anime with just humans. So it's just people. It's got a detective story. Cool, whatever. And I prepared those characters, went into the studio, and then in the studio was where they put the pictures up on the wall, where you can see the characters you're auditioning for. Sometimes they don't send you the picture. And they were all on the wall at Ocean Studios. And it's like, oh, there's Light's father. There's Misa, looks like, and Light and Ellen. Yeah, who's the demon? What's this guy? I never saw that guy, and he looked so cool. He was looking like such a badass. I'm like, so I went into my audition and said to the director, and I worked with him on Dragon Ball Z and other things, so we worked a lot. And I asked, can I read for the bad guy demon dude out there? I don't know if you have time, but if you could squeeze me in for that guy, he really looks fun. And Carl said, yeah, we have time to do that. But he said, he gave me like 5 minutes, gave me the sides, and said, first off, he's not the bad guy.
That's a matter of opinion.
He's not the bad guy, he's not a demon, he's a death god. And he has kind of an interesting laugh, so think of something like that. So I had like 5 minutes to sort of quickly look at the sides, think of what I wanted to do with him, come up with a laugh. He looked like this guy who burned to death in bed for something, like he was white, pale, wizened, so I just wanted to make it a little otherworldly sounding, and I wanted his laugh to sort of sound like a cough initially, so it had that sound to it, and that's where so I thought that would be a cool laugh. That would be fun. It's kind of a smoker laugh, yeah. And then I went in, I didn't get anybody else to audition for, but I got Ryuk. So sometimes in life, ask for what you want. I could have just went, oh man, they didn't want to see me for Ryuk, but I saw the character, I said, I want to play him. I asked the director, do you have time? I'd love to read for him, please, can you? And he said, yes. I could have just ignored it and someone else would play him.
That doesn't happen very often, right? Like I want to be him. I want to be like.
You know
More
what?
often than you,
Yeah,
than people will say, you know what, can I read for this guy
Yeah.
as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've probably all done it. We said, I know you didn't give me this part, but I heard there's also this character. Can I read for him as well? And it's really up to the directors and the timing of the day. It's like, we have a lot, Brian. We can't put that one in. We'll consider your sounds from this role for that one. But sometimes they say, yeah, okay, sure. So, and this one they did.
A lot of the earlier anime that I was working on, I was always playing like the young heroic lead type character. And so sometimes when I went into audition, if I was given some, source material for some of the other characters, I would suggest like, hey, can I just throw this one in here, even if it's a bad guy, just so that the casting directors and other people could see like, I can do some other things. And I'd like to, even if I'm not going to get the part, because like right away I can think of 6 people that I would hire if I were you, but I want you to hear something different than what you always hear from me. And it did, I think, in some ways kind of lead to some other shows where I got to play more villainous or just more different sounding characters than the young hero voice.
Right.
Or hamsters.
Or hamsters, yeah.
Well, that was going
That
to be a follow-up. Is maybe that does set you up for future roles. And, like, hey, I know we didn't have you for this, but there's another project that has this very similar.
Yeah, that happens a lot for on camera as well. If you go in and you read for a character and they go, oh, you're not right for this, but they remember you for their next show and then they bring you in for that as well. And it's, same with voiceover.
Sometimes we'll get auditions for things and I'm like, that's not really a good role for me. But I'll often try and submit something, even if I have to do a slightly different take than probably what they're expecting to hear. Because, I can think of 10 people that will do it this way and sound amazing, and it's a little out of my comfort zone, so I'll just do a slightly different thing, just to kind of get them to hear some of these other things that we can do. If I've worked on, 5 shows with that same director, but it's always been pretty much the same character that I've been cast in, just to show some variety if I have any.
You mentioned auditions, and I've heard some folks explain that they are not professional actors; they are professional auditioners, and every once in a while they get a role. Do you guys feel like that's the same thing, that you're just throwing yourself out there?
Different part of the job for sure. Auditioning is not the gig. It's a whole different world on camera, in the studio. There's something about putting together a good audition, whether these days where you submit them most of the time, or when we were starting out, where you were in the room and you have one chance at it with you, directors and producers behind the glass, and this is the time you're doing the audition. It wasn't submitted, where you're at home and you can redo it 10 times. You do it the one time you had it ready to go. So, it's that preparation is different than once you have the gig. And sometimes I'll do things that, if I know a show is comedy heavy and they picked sides for me where I know this is going to be a character, but they didn't really give me great sides.
Right.
I look for any way I can make this funny or add in some ad-lib stuff, because I know I want someone laughing before I leave here, or I want them, if they're going to hear this, to snicker when they're listening to it, or laugh a little bit, because maybe that'll give me a call back or something. Something memorable needs to be on there, because I want another chance to get back in the room to show them more of my stuff.
Now, you mentioned, submitting and in going in. I guess things really changed, obviously, in 2020, right? Not being able to go in. Now, did you 3 already have home studios that you were kind of prepared for this, or was when 2020 happened a total shock to your entire system?
No. For on camera, I was self-taping.
Okay.
I could self-tape from home or self-tape with my acting coach, but in terms of voiceover, I was always going in. And we would do MP3s and self-tapes, but usually I would do it from my phone. I didn't have a portable mic. I didn't have a studio. And so when COVID hit, I remember that overwhelm, because we're not trained to be an engineer, we're not trained to be a videographer, and so I remember just feeling really overwhelmed. But you gotta pivot. You gotta pivot and do it. And now, unfortunately, it's stuck, because I would way rather go in the room way rather be in front of people and having that energy exchange and that eye contact. But yeah, I'm, at least for me, I'm used to it. I don't like it, but I'm used to it.
I have a fairly rudimentary setup. It's a laptop, a microphone, and a decent preamp. And so I kind of had that before pandemic, and then just was really relying on it a little more heavily during the pandemic. But I'm the same way. I do really miss going into studio because it was a real luxury when you walk in there and there was not only a casting director but a couple of producers on the show. Because sometimes, like we were kind of alluding to before, you go in, you read for the character that they brought you in for, and then they go, "Hold on for a second, Brad," and you hear this. Oh no, I botched it. They're gonna kick me out. And they're like, "Can you come out of the booth?" "Oh no, we have these other pages we want. You know, take like 5 minutes and prepare this one because like we like what you did, but it's not what we thought it was going to be for that guy. But we have this other character." And when you're doing self-tape auditions at home, if you're only given the stuff that they're projecting they want you to read for, then it really limits like that type of opportunity when you have that. And you can also get instant feedback from either a casting director or a producer going, "Okay, that's a really interesting take. Can we kind of push it in this direction? You make it younger, make it older, make it gruffer, make it whatever," and you can do that stuff on the fly. You're basically your own casting director plus engineer plus, you know.
It's like the instant feedback. Do you have anything else, Brian? There. Okay, thanks. Thanks.
So if you guys have questions, now's it. We're going to start lining up. And as folks are lining up, I'm going to ask you this question here. And how many journals do you guys think you have signed over time?
I don't know if we could even count.
I think you have an answer for it.
Over 9,000!
I say up and out.
At least.
It's
Yeah,
we've killed ourselves over and over and over
It's
again.
pretty fun to be able to have those. We've actually, lots of people have suggestions where they want us to murder them in certain ways in the book. I put a way to kill me in here.
It's fun for us because we understand the show and, you know, the context and everything, but there's a lot of people that use Death Notes as autograph books. And I'm wondering what happens when you take it to somebody that has not worked on or has no idea what the show's about, and you're like, "Hey, can you sign this?" They're like, "Oh, it's a journal." No, it's not a sketchbook, it's a
Murder book.
just sign it.
Hello. What's your name?
Tessa,
Hi, Tessa.
what was your most fun/funny line that you did?
Fun/funny line that I did for you could probably be when he says, I took myself into a pretzel and go into convulsions when he wants the apples. When he's in Light's room and bouncing off the walls and twisting around and just, just losing it because he wants an apple. It's the funniest part, and it was a surprise to me when it came up because none of that was in the audition sides, so I just thought he was ominous and creepy and watching, and then I was like, there's a lot of humor that they gave him and silly stuff, which I didn't know was there. So when it came up, it was quite fun.
I mean, mine, and I do a lot of signing of this quote, but my favorite quote, my favorite line is, "If I see you with another girl, I'll kill her." Which I feel like is very Shannon-esque, you know.
The relationship is complicated, like we said. For me, I've gotten a lot of benefits out of this line, so it's gotta be one of my favorites. "I'll take a potato chip." So many free potato chips.
Thank you.
And gained about 40 pounds.
I used to be just a beanpole, and now less so.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Ashley. I was wondering if you would mind sharing one of your favorite or weirdest but appropriate fan story meeting with like a fan. Yeah, fan story. If you have like a favorite one that sticks out to you.
Matt.
Weirdest fan stories.
I don't know if I have a weird one. Well, getting something tattooed, having someone tattoo my signature on them is, I wouldn't say weird, but like cool and like
Still a bit weird.
like, you know, very cool. And then yesterday I had someone come up to me and she could recite every single line from Death Note, and we did a scene together. And she was like, "Do you remember this scene?" And I was like, "I don't remember. I know the scene, but I don't know the dialogue." And so she told me everything that I needed to say. And then we just had this like, we played the scene, and I was like, "Woo!" It was great.
really
And
cool.
it wasn't a weird interaction; it was a great interaction. I loved it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, I know one. It's silly. So I was at a convention. So I worked on a bunch of Gundam series. I don't know if there's any Gundam fans in here. Nice. Okay, cool. So one of the Gundam series I worked on was the original Mobile Suit Gundam, which is technically, it was animated in like late 70s, early 80s. We recorded it early 2000s. So I was at a convention and somebody walked up with an Amuro Ray mask. And it looked like this little like Halloween type mask where it's just a piece of plastic with a string on the back. And it just had this beautiful look to it, big anime Amuro face, right? So I'm like, "Oh, where did you get this? I've never seen it before and I love it." She goes, "Oh, I found it online somewhere." "Oh, that's so amazing." She wanted me to sign it, so I autographed it. And then I got home and I'm like, "I have to find that mask." So I'm scouring the internet, looking through eBay, looking else, I never found it, whatever. So every once in a while, I remember every couple months, I'd be like, "Oh, look for an Amuro mask." Never saw it, never saw a picture of it. And then at one point it showed up on eBay. Oh, yes, there it is. Okay, oh, it's not a buy it now, I'm gonna have to bid on it. Okay, let's see. Amuro Ray mask, blah, 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 as autographed by Brad Swift. So, like, me being like, "Oh, selling whatever." So I sent a message to the seller and said like, "Hey, it's me, Brad Swale. I see that you have my autograph on here. Yeah, I'm interested, but I figure I'll let," because nobody was bidding on it at this point because she wanted way too much for it. Especially because I defaced it with my autograph. On the back, mind you. So then I sent a message going like, "Hey, if nobody bids on this, I want to make sure the fans can have it, but if not, I'll make you an offer." And so then the thing expired. She got back to me, goes, "Oh, hey, Brad, great to hear from you. Yeah, that's not going to work. You can have it for this much." And she dropped the price by like $5, and I'm like, sold. I bought my own autograph just so I can have that stupid mask. I still have it though.
Thank you.
And that permanent marker is permanent. I tried to get it off there.
Hello. Hi. Hello, my name's Michael. And I'm here to ask some questions. So Shannon, what is your favorite Sonic Prime episodes?
The one where Amy yells at Sonic.
Always.
I really liked playing Rusty Rose, and so any of those
Ah.
ones, basically.
But what happened to New York?
Pardon me? Oh, New York? I always hate saying that because it sounds like I don't know how to say New York. Yeah, absolutely. All of those New York scenes also. I don't have a favorite episode.
Oh, yeah.
We love them all as
We love
actors.
them
They're
all.
like our children.
Yes.
I was a big Sonic fan this whole time.
Thank you. That was a fun show to work on for both of us.
I mean, we both did it. Usually for a pre-lay show like that, we would be together, but I think this was like our first
COVID
pre-lay
show.
COVID show.
So we had to record it.
And
separate.
it was a really intense, complicated show with lots of different characters, and recording it separate was.
We did a whole bunch of episodes of that show. I think we were 8 episodes in.
Yeah, and then we took a
Halted,
hiatus, and then.
stopped production on it. We're like, oh, did we just all get fired from
That's what I
Sonic
thought
Prime?
too.
We thought we were all fired. And I guess the writers were having issues. It was something production-wise. Stopped for like 4 or 5 months. It
Yeah.
stopped for a while,
Yeah.
and then came back and we started over and fixed and rewrote a whole bunch of stuff and started from the beginning and went onward. But yeah, and then finished all 3 seasons of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
We might have to move to the next person because we've
Thank
got
you.
100 behind you.
Great.
Thanks, Michael. Take care.
Thank
Take care.
you so much. Hello, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Ron. I've just recently started my voice acting journey, and I just wanted to ask, because I use Ryuk and Light's laughs as inspiration, what do you guys use as inspiration when you're in a mood for a character?
Paying my mortgage. No, well, I went to theater school for 3 years. trained, and there's been so much time in a program like that where you're just learning how to play your instrument. So, and my instrument plays only certain kinds of music. It's the way it is, and I just try to figure out how to utilize it in any scene, any way possible. Lots of times I'll look at what other actors do, other performers. I've spent tons of time just copying and seeing if other people, I was like, how did they make that sound? Like, there's stuff that D. Bradley Baker does that I'm like, how does he even do that? Right? There are these voice actors, and so I've worked, trying to create my own repertoire of sounds just by listening to what other performers do. And there's some performers you go, I just can't do that, so I focus on it. But I've always just thought of this, it's an instrument, and I have to learn how to play as many notes with it as I can. I don't think mentally I've really ever had a specific person as an inspiration, as opposed to knowing I had this instrument, someone put the music in front of me, and I have to figure out how am I going to play it with what I have here.
I mean, because we've worked in this industry for quite some time, and we've worked with a lot of like really incredible, Vancouver-based voice actors and things. For me, if I'm reading for something that's kind of out of my normal comfort zone, I can kind of tap into my experience in studio with some incredible voice actors and think like, what would Brian do for this type of character? Not trying to copy but just his. I've heard incredible voice actors doing great treatments on different things, and maybe I don't have the experience with it, so I kind of rely on my experience in studio, listening to them do certain roles and things that I liked about their performances, and I can kind of let that intention seep into, and then of course I'll use my own voice to do what I need to do. But yeah, I hadn't thought about it before actually.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so we got about 15 minutes left. We'll want to try to get through as many as possible.
Okay, we gotta wrap
So
it up.
it'll be one question per person only, and we'll rapid fire them.
Hey, it's me, Goku. If each of you had a death note, what would be the first thing you would do with it? And do not say eat a potato chip.
Well, what would the Saiyan Prince do to know? If I found a death note and I knew what it did, I would dig a hole so deep and bury that thing and never make a marker for where it is, because that is a dangerous item in the hands of anyone named Light.
Ditto.
Yeah, I think I'd turn around and walk the other way. I saw what happens. It's a slippery slope, very, very slippery.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We get it then.
Thank you, Kakarot!
Hello.
Hi, my name is Meg. My question's simple. Who's your favorite character in the show besides the one that you voice?
In Death Note,
yeah.
besides the one that we voice.
Ren.
L.
Lots of them. I call him an idiot. He is.
Good choice.
Thank you.
Hello.
I'm Genesis. My question is, if you had a death note, if you were to kill someone, how would you kill them?
Welcome to Iowa.
Smothered to death by 1,000 golden retriever puppies. We gotta go.
Poisoned by cake. My favorite thing to eat.
Mine would definitely involve chocolate milk for sure. So much chocolate milk.
Drowning in a pool of chocolate
It
milk.
would start out glorious, then be this is way too much chocolate milk.
Thank you.
Hello.
My name is Kevin. I was just like, Death Note is just a great story and a great concept, and I was just wondering, like, while you were doing the voice acting or after you saw the success of it, like, did you think like it could be extended anymore, or wanted to go any longer, or that there was like a spin-off or something? Just because it's just a great story.
Wish there were. I've had a couple of those conversations this weekend that with the additional pieces that came out in the manga. If they read out and there's a musical now, there's a bit of an extension with that. But even Brad and I and AJ plays Al are talking about the Shinigami realm, the Death God realm is so interesting. Is Light there? Is L? Who are those? Who's the death? Who's the Death God, the King of the Death Gods? Who's like? There's so many stories that I think could be tied. How did they get there? Where is it in relation? Do they only relate to Earth, or do they relate to other planets? I don't know. Is Earth the only one? There's so much more that could be written. I feel that hasn't. It's up to the fans to harass whoever has the rights to Death Note and say, come on, give us more of this, because it's really great. They're great writers and great storytellers and great artists.
And who in this room would want to see more of that stuff? Right? Yeah.
Get onto the social medias.
Thank you.
Hashtag it up. Hello.
Hi, I'm Alex. I wanted to know, like, if you could take any of, like, the character's personality and have it as your own that's not your own character, what personality trait you would take?
I would be a pop star.
Take on a character's personality.
Like take on our character.
No, but even said that's not your own character.
Not your own character.
I'll be a pop star.
I'd like to be a death god.
Yeah, I love the there's a character, Elle is so intense in solving something. Sometimes I think I'm a bit of a give up on a project too easy. Like Elle is just, he's so OCD almost. I'm just like completing a task and making sure there's an aspect of that I think I could invest a little bit more in my own.
I was gonna say I'd like to take on some of L's, intelligence, but I'm gonna change my answer. I want his metabolism. Cake and sweets that guy eats, and he looks. He's
I
svelte.
take mine back. I take it back.
Even pop star, forget it. Just Elle's metabolism.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Shane. I was wondering, when you guys watch the anime, do you watch it in sub or dub?
I watched it for the first time from when I recorded it 18 years ago or whatever it was. It's about 6 months ago. I binged it and I just watched one episode out of the blue. I'm like, how does this hold up? I should probably maybe remember a little bit more. And after I watched the episode, I watched the whole thing in like 3 days and kind of forgot I was even in it. I was just
He was that good.
I was sucked into the performances. It's a great show. But on that show, I watched dubbed, but almost everything else, like Korean dramas, like live action stuff, I do watch the sub. There's something about, as an actor, I like seeing the original performance. I don't know it's surprising me because I dub shows for a living, but most of the stuff I like to see is sometimes an original performances, but many times they dub it as well, like they didn't animate to them after the fact. So 95% of the time we watch a sub.
I don't read good. I'm more the opposite. I will watch a dub and then judge it very critically.
Research. It's research.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Hi, I'm Kemper. How did your perception of your character change over time?
Mine didn't change a lot, except the humor side. He's still been how I always thought he was when we started, but the only thing that was new to me for him was when I discovered that he was had a bit of a humorous side of him and a bit of a mischievous side to him. And the humor, I think, that other people find in him isn't so much something that he finds funny. He's actually super annoyed by the fact that he wants apples. Everyone else thinks that's funny, but that's just him being, upset about this problem that he needs to solve. But my perception doesn't change a lot.
I just got more annoyed.
Why is she putting up with this?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh, that kind of leads to mine. I've been hoping over time I was going to have more sympathy for the lead character, but no, he still went pretty bad. Nothing's changed over time. It hasn't softened at all. Right, not so good. Entertaining, but not good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kemper.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Marina. I wanted to say really quickly that I traveled to Des Moines for a graduation and had no idea this was going on, but bought a ticket for this panel specifically because I'm a huge Death Note fan. But my question is there a certain line or moment from your character that has really stuck with you?
Yes. What sticks with me the most? Plug your ears if you haven't seen it all the way. Well, Light, I told you in the very beginning that I'd be the one writing your name in the Death Note when you die.
Oh, shivers.
from your character that has stuck with you?
Oh yeah. Okay, when Light gives away his memory of the Death Note, again, it's too late for spoilers. And he's insistent that he's not Kira. And when he has his dad convinced that he's not Kira, and you're like, oh, that's so amazing that his dad doesn't realize it, but we all know that he actually is. It's like, I'm still very torn with that. And it was a very fun scene to play. Because in earnest, he thought that he was not Kira for a time. But we all know that he is, and then the memories come back, and he's like right back into it, and you're like, oh my god, it's bad. It's so bad.
Mine would be at the end. Also, spoilers? No spoilers? Whatever, guys! No spoilers! Whatever. At the end of Misa's life, or not at the end of Misa's life. We don't know.
Allegedly,
We don't know, allegedly. Yeah, that was...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to have to go lightning round here to get through all.
Yeah, hi, my name is Peyton, and what was the best memory you had coming to a city for a con that was outside of the con, like at the hotel or at a restaurant?
Oh, I'll tell this right away. No. Can I tell that one? I don't know.
Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Was it in Vegas?
Oh, yes, no.
Stays there.
We're from Canada, and we were at a convention recently. I can't remember where it was. But does anyone know Monty Python? John Cleese? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? So I grew up with Monty Python. I love Monty Python. John Cleese was at the same convention. So we're all getting, we all get picked up at the hotel at the same time. John Cleese was standing beside me and AJ, who plays Al, and we were just chatting with him, and we were, oh, we're Canadians. Oh, Canadians. He's like, I have a joke about Canadians. Like, I'm going to get a free joke from John Cleese right there. So, how did you get a large group of Canadians to jump in the pool? In an ice cold pool. A large group to jump in an ice cold pool. And I was like, we're like, I don't know. And he said, please jump in the pool. And I was like, Canadians, he knows us so well. I have this, John Cleese told me a joke. That's one that I will never forget.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Ruth, and was there ever like a moment, it didn't have to be your own character, but where you were just so annoyed at like just one character's decisions?
Matsuda. He's an idiot. Yeah, so annoyed.
When I watched it, Ryuk wasn't there, but I was very annoyed when Light, something got to him, when he's gonna kill that detective's wife. I was like, okay, you like turn the corner here. That was really, really crappy, right? So I'm like, he is going off the deep end here. And watching it, I was like, jerk.
Same.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Zach. It seems like Sid's Death Note has come out. It's always been viewed as the measuring stick for the battle of wit style of storytelling. So I was wondering what you guys thought of why that is. What about the show has caused it to be that measuring stick for that style of storytelling?
Tough question. I think there was almost a stigma with anime for quite some time that it was a certain way. Zany, over the top, goofy, blah blah. And that's not the case, but some of the shows that made it bigger in the mainstream were kind of in that realm. And then a show like Death Note comes out and you realize, oh, anime specifically, can be hyper intelligent and thought provoking and evocative and morally ambiguous and like all these different things. And I think just that engagement that you have as an audience member watching a story unfold in that way definitely is something that triggers a certain part of our brains. So it's not a surprise that it kind of seeps into our subculture and shows itself in different areas of the industry as well.
Thank you.
Does that make any sense, the answer? That seemed rambling.
Here's what I want. I want all 6 of you to come up here to the front of the stage. All 6 of you to come up to the front of the stage.
You're in trouble. What you did.
Come right up here. Come right up here. All right. So we were like out of time. So what I want to do is I'm going to count to 3, and you guys are going to yell your question all at the same time.
Oh my God.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Oh God.
1, 2, 3, go. Yeah.
What?
sauce? No.
To the left.
Headcanon. Headcanon.
I like the idea, we alluded to this earlier, that Light may find himself in the Shinigami realm, and that's the spin-off series that I want to see, right? Hopefully I can voice it.
Agreed.
Yes, yes. Like Shinigami. And we'd be like playing cards together and stuff and say, hey, we're bored, what should we do? Drop a book.
So if you guys didn't get your questions answered, please, you guys go
We're at
to
the
the
table.
table.
We're at the
table.
At the table. Anybody else who did not get up to ask your question, please feel free to come up to the table. Thank you guys.
Yes, thanks everybody.
To the left.